Alright, so hi everyone. Welcome to my first episode for my YouTube channel, and it's going to be my first sketchbook walkthrough. So this is one of my first sketchbooks, or my sketchbook for this year, and I wanted to do a walkthrough as my first episode to kind of introduce myself, to show you guys what I can do, who I am. My name is Anthony. This is my channel for BribiArt, and I'm a background artist. I started in school in Cal State Northridge, and now I've taken some classes for CDA, and I'm trying to be a background artist and a background painter. So, for me, I'm actually the opposite. I know a lot of people like to draw people. I'm more of a person that likes to draw, backgrounds and background art and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys like my channel, and yeah, so this is my first sketchbook walkthrough that I'm going to do. This sketchbook is one I've done for this year. Right, obviously a lot of the stuff I've done in the beginning was probably before the pandemic, but this is my sketchbook for this year. It was Black Wing for 2020. Black Wing, this is a 10-inch by 7.5 inch. Really good paper, really good sketchbook. And usually I like to start my sketchbooks with entering the dates. Kind of helps me with cataloging. I put in, started for January 20 to January 21st. That's when I completely finished this. So I like to start my sketchbooks with a lot of, insect drawings and stuff like that, kind of stuff I've already practiced. I practiced at CDA, so I've taken some classes with Peter Hahn, who also has a great YouTube channel. I would like to recommend you guys that one. And I like to do a lot of different sketches from what I learned in that class, kind of keep myself active in what I learned. And, I'm still learning, I'm still processing, and I'm still, drawing as much as I can. And a lot of the goal of this sketchbook was kind of to draw as much as I can throughout the year and kind of practice everything. So there wasn't really a main goal for this sketchbook. It was just to draw and practice and just keep myself consistent. And consistency was the key. So I, tried practicing drawing different things, different objects. Again, I'm a background artist and a background painter, so backgrounds are my thing. Towards the end of the sketchbook, you'll start to see that. So this was kind of like our trip for San Diego, which was really fun with some friends. And we even drew a lot of sea lions. I like to draw some animals here and there. So there were a lot of sea lions by the coast, so we would find spots and practice in drawing those. And a lot of the stuff may not be finished, and I'm okay with that. That's kind of the idea, is to show how a lot of these drawings, kind of get my process and my thought process on paper. And then as I start to go along, I'll be able to, get more detailed stuff. So a lot of this stuff might not be finished, but that's kind of okay. It was kind of the idea of just getting something in. Some of these drawings were just me practicing different shades, shapes. We went to the museum in that same trip in San Diego, so I practiced a lot of that. This was a Japanese sculpture of a Japanese house. So we did, a few drawings of that. And we even went to the San Diego Zoo. So a few animal drawings of koalas and such, which was really cute. Some giraffes, which was really nice. Flamingos as well. A few drawings of those. And again, this sketchbook was, again, the idea of just practicing something. Trying to practice form, trying to practice shape, just getting, the ideas down. Or at least trying to attempt to draw something new. So, animals, I like to practice with animals, but they're not exactly my strong suit. So the idea is just, just keep practicing, keep pushing, and that's another goal of my YouTube channel, is to kind of help others do the same. I'm not a professional yet, and the point of this channel is kind of to document my journey throughout this whole process of me, applying to different positions and trying to make it in the industry. So hopefully one day I will. But yeah, in the meantime, this is the stuff that I draw. Observational sketches. I like to draw things more live rather than in pictures. And I know with the pandemic, it was hard, but I really learned a lot from actual classes, So let me know in the comments down below. What do you guys like to learn? What do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer learning through your classes, or do you guys learn a lot better through, pictures and videos and stuff like that? And I know, sometimes these classes can be very expensive, but if you're, able to save up and you're able to take those classes, they can be a very, very big help in the long run. So yeah, these are some other sketches that I wanted to do. Mainly I like to draw with pencil and pen. And then I do a lot of digital work as well. So this is also with marker. I do have a few decent amount of markers, and I usually use some Sharpies as well. So whenever I can, I'll start to do that and practice with those. Also with pen, I like to try to practice with texture. Texture is something that I'm still learning as well, and I'll be able to document it with you guys and show you guys more of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I also practice with pencil. This is a lot of pencil. And I like to use different shades, obviously, to get more detail and to get more value out of it in terms of those specific gradients. And I'll probably do a video about that, maybe along down the line later this season. Again, this is me going back to, perspective drawing and backgrounds. I like perspective. Perspective is very, very interesting for me. So you'll be hopefully seeing a lot of perspective drawings and me practicing perspective. So that's pretty cool. And then this is me kind of practicing with pens. A lot of these pens, I'll get brush pens, I'll get thin pens, thick pens, and I'll just practice in detail. And then I'll try to mix the two. So again, this kept kind of in the middle of the year, especially this year. I really wanted to push myself and practice different mediums other than just pencil or other than just pen. So, and kind of mesh things together. So this was me using pen and Copic marker or different kinds of marker. And then, yeah, just me practicing, continuing different ideas. When it comes to like me kind of figuring out my sketches, I just like to draw different ideas and try to get as many ideas down on paper before I pick one specific thing. And then going back to pencil. So also with pencil, as you can see, these are another background. Also with pencil, I wanted to practice, again, perspective, and it's always something that I always push for is just to get the right perspective, get a good composition going, really practice shapes and forms, and then kind of go into shading towards the end. But yeah, shading is something I want to learn, and I want to also paint, sometimes learn a little bit more on color theory. So it's probably something that I'll probably show you guys my process maybe down the line. Yeah, this was actually on my birthday, some birthday sketches. So my girlfriend took me to LAX, and we were able to stand at a distance, by where the planes were landing. So I was doing a lot more observational sketches, and I like to go places where I can do observational sketches. It's kind of my favorite thing, even though sometimes I don't always have time to do it. So a lot of these sketches, I was able to see the planes coming down into the tarmac. So I was able to get good glimpses and kind of break things down and kind of figure out, how the planes are shaped and formed, and kind of figuring out different angles, even though they were passing by. Not all the time, but a decent amount. So I can still kind of figure things out and figure out how these planes were going. And then I really got back down towards the middle of the year, really wanted to go back into learning the basics. So, I wanted to learn to break shapes down, and there's a lot of references that I was able to find in books. And, obviously throughout this YouTube channel, I'll be able to share all that with you guys. But I wanted to go back down to basics and relearning and retraining and working myself from the ground up. So, these are a lot of observational sketches like that, kind of practicing shape, kind of practicing a little bit more form. Throwing in a little bit of shadow in there just to give it a little bit more of an eye appeal to it, and then this is me kind of learning the shapes. And then once I practice enough and I feel like I've learned something out of it, this is me kind of throwing in some detail. Once I feel like I'm learning and getting something out of it, then I'll kind of throw in a background kind of incorporating what I learned. And it's it really helped. This was a time, in the pandemic where, things were really shutting down. Classes were really getting closed, and, really try to push myself to learn with myself and learn with the resources that I had. So I'm pretty proud of the way these things came out. Then after a while, I wanted to learn to really structure my studies to kind of give it more of a structure, a nice appeal. So it's not just random drawings everywhere. And then I really started to get into trees. Trees are pretty easy to draw, but then when it comes to giving it a shape and giving it some shadow, it starts to be a little bit more challenging. In terms of these are different shapes, especially because, when you're drawing trees in this kind of cartoony style or even in a realistic style, I started to notice that when you put a lot of different plants together, the detail gets lost, and you start to kind of find some generic version of that detail to really, give the illusion that you have a lot of trees put together. And I'll probably, maybe in another video as I start to draw, I'll probably explain a little bit more of that kind of issue, and kind of document how I personally will be able to solve it. So let me know in the comments down below if it's something you'd like to see. And I go in between the range of of realistic and then cartoony. So I personally haven't figured out my style yet, and hopefully through this experience of creating more YouTube videos and creating more for my channel, I'll probably start to figure out that kind of process. But in the meantime, I really try to learn everything and as much as I can. I'm not really accustomed myself to one specific style, and especially for the kind of profession that I want to go to, which is background painting and art. I expect to be part of different types of productions. So the idea that I'm able to kind of learn different styles and adopt them into my drawings is something that I want to really keep myself available to learn, because I think the idea is you want to have your own style for your own personal benefit and your own uniqueness. But when you're part of a production, I've seen you have to really conform to whatever style the show you're in is. So that's kind of the idea. It's to be agile, to be able to adopt another style really quickly. So I kind of go again between cartoony and very realistic. And see, this is the different types of shading and stuff like that. And again, I wanted to show my process and how I kind of go through things and put things on paper, because not every sketchbook is gonna look nice, and I know that. And I think it's important to show that, to show the imperfections of a sketchbook, and show how messy and how nice some sketches are, and how messy some other sketches are, And I know it's something that, a lot of people want to show and probably give, is how people give their sketches, and they're always trying to be as presentable as they can. But, I kind of figured it'd be nice to kind of show your process, kind of show how you break down ideas, break down shapes, and kind of figure things out. And I think that's important. Something that I want to show in my channel is, it's important to really kind of learn to break things down and show your work, to show that you're not figuring or trying to make the perfect sketch every time. And that's something I struggle with personally, is that sometimes when you're drawing, you want to make that perfect sketch every time, and you gotta, I guess for me, it's like I'm always fighting with the idea that it's not gonna happen. It's going to happen when my experience and my practice really meet up and they create the sketch. And in the middle of me drawing, I'll just be like, oh wait, that looks good. And that's when I really start to really push the sketch, and that's where it comes out, like stuff like this. Even this drawing in particular, this drawing actually started out with me trying to draw something perfect in the beginning. And then as I started to notice that it wasn't really looking great, then I started to kind of break in my head, why doesn't it look great? Why doesn't it, really fit? And, even here too, where I started to realize when I stepped back, oh my God, it looks crooked. That's straight, that's crooked, So I go back and forth and try to practice different things, and that's what I kind of want to show in my YouTube channel is, kind of the imperfections and the struggle it takes to kind of learn this kind of stuff, So I like to jump back from mediums so I don't get bored. I want to keep myself, on my toes in terms of what I want to learn. And yeah, so it's been a crazy year. And especially with these kind of sketches, again, when I want to learn style, these are actually from Avatar: The Last Airbender. So before, maybe in another video, I'll talk about it a little more, but Avatar is actually the reason why I got into animation. I saw Avatar: The Last Airbender when I was a kid, and I was like, whoop, that's pretty much it. Movies and TV shows plus drawing equals animation. So that's what I really loved about the show. It was just written great. It was drawn beautifully. Everything was painted. The backgrounds were just almost looked hand painted, even though they were some of them were digital. But yeah, it just really got me into that. This is probably from season 1 where they meet one of the master firebenders for the first time, Aang and Katara. Before I don't know if anybody remembers this type of scenery. And yeah, this is actually a concept sketch from one of the books that I got, and I kind of redrew my own version or my own angle from it. So this was pretty cool. Obviously, you guys probably recognize this in the first season. This is the Northern Water Tribe camps of the village. And then, yeah, this is one of the canyon episodes, even though it's one of the least liked episodes. This is one of the episodes where they get trapped and try to save Haru. So this is kind of the prison. This is one of the concept sketches for the prison. There's Appa right there. So I really loved the show, and I really tried to, you know, kind of figure out their style and copy their style, and mainly sticked with pencil because I wanted to really figure things out. So usually the way I kind of learned is pencil really helps you figure things out because you don't have to really put in a lot of detail, and then the line work, you can give it some flimsy lines, and then you can slowly darken and figure your way into the shape and the form. And then with pen is just absolute certainty. If you're making a mark with pen, that's your mark. You know, you can't pull it back, you can't make it lighter in a sense. So it's like, it kind of, the way I draw the pen, the medium I use, kind of gives it the personality. This is Jet's campsite, my little version of Jet's campsite from The Last Airbender. So yeah, it's just, you know, a lot of study sketches, a lot of me trying to learn. And that's kind of what I want to push in this channel, is learning with not only, you know, myself and what I learned and kind of sharing that, but also being able to share with you guys and talk about it with you guys and see, you know, what, you know, can kind of learn together and share resources and, you know, kind of, you know, that's the idea, you know, kind of watch me figure things out. And also for myself, is the idea is to document what I do, document what I learn, and kind of really keep myself accountable and keep myself pushing into hopefully making it in the industry. And, you know, hopefully throughout this season, because I plan on drawing these things out through seasons, I'll be able to, you know, document my experiences and share what I learned. So, you know, I'm excited for all of this. You know, here's another pencil sketch of the Northern Air Temple, which is pretty cool. And I think this is one of the last ones of the Southern Water Tribe. So again, you know, I like backgrounds, I like perspective, and I don't see a lot of that on YouTube, even though, you know, I see a lot of visual development artists, which are great, you know, but a lot of, you know, kind of the nitty gritty of this kind of stuff, which is something I like to share, something I like to talk about. You know, this is a lot of a lot of practice sketches, and this is from, you know, Peter Hahn's classes, and even his art book, which recently came out, which maybe I'll be able to show in another episode. But this is a lot of practices, a lot of, you know, details and stuff like that, you know, I kind of keep myself warmed up, and more bug sketches. So these are pretty cool. Again, these are done in pen now that I've kind of break them down. So it helps, you know, really practice and kind of get myself, you know, warmed up when I start to draw. Sometimes, you know, obviously you don't want to be drawing the same thing every day. And, you know, I like to break between animals, cars, backgrounds, different stuff like that. So yeah, different sketches like this, you know, it really keeps me entertained, keeps me busy. And, you know, it's a lot of more that I wanted to learn. So this is my last sketch of the year, or last sketch of this sketchbook in 2021, you know. And, you know, I'm very happy with the way this sketchbook came out. I'm very happy with what I learned through this sketchbook, and hopefully you're able to see it with this sketchbook. So, you know, let me know what you guys liked. You know, let me know what you guys would learn. And, you know, how do you guys prefer to learn? Do you guys prefer to learn through observation, through actually being in physical spaces and draw what you see in front of you? Or do you guys like to learn through videos? Do you prefer to learn that way? I know, you know, right now in the pandemic, it's kind of the only option. And trust me, I get that, you know, but do you guys prefer to learn in a different way? Or what are some different ways you guys like to practice and stuff like that? And what are your favorite mediums? I would like to get to know you guys a little bit better as you guys, you know, follow me in my journey and watch my videos. So what do you guys like to What are your favorite mediums? And what would you guys like to see on this channel? You know, any questions of topics and stuff like that that you might want to hear me talk about, you know, and maybe we can talk about it in the comment section down below. So yeah, thank you for watching my first episode. Hope to be putting out more soon. And yeah, have a good one. Bye. Hey everyone, thanks for watching episode 1 of my YouTube channel. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. If there's anything else you guys would like me to talk about or anything you guys would like to see, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'm going to try to keep a schedule of at least having 1 episode a week. I'll try to have a timestamp to let you know when those episodes will be out. But please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.